Ario Bestie, welcome back to my channel. So good to be here, and I'm going straight into it. Alright, so I studied B.Ed, education, specifically mathematics, and you know, here in Nigeria there's almost no jobs. Like most of the most relevant jobs, it's actually the teaching job, so which I would say was kind of good for me in the sense that I was actually by profession a teacher, even though now that's not what I do, but indirectly I still teach. Like what I do currently, I still teach, but that's a talk for another day. The reason why I left teaching was that, to start with, I'm from the north central part of the country, but currently I'm based in the south part of the country, Port Harcourt to be specific. So I did education. I studied education in the high school, sorry, in the university I mean, and then coming down here, obviously I jumped into teaching. Like, you know, the fact that we're in the same country, there are a lot of things that are completely different. They are not the same at all. What I mean, they're not the same. But then even the curriculum, I noticed the curriculums were not the same with what I was used to from the North Central. And then when I came down here, that was in 2010, there was a curriculum they were using called the Montessori pattern of learning. It has to do with mixing both the UK or I don't know, England or thereabout, UK and in Nigeria kind of curriculum. It's an awesome curriculum because there was something I noticed with it. It taught the kids how to read fast. Like a child of 4, 5 was already beginning to be familiar with reading. Like a child at 3, let me say 3 years or so, or let's say 4, let's just be a little bit lenient here, has already mastered 3-letter words. By 5, they can conveniently pronounce 5, 6-letter words. To a large extent, they can read short sentences. That was the Montessori pattern of learning I came to meet at the Port Harcourt. You know, coming from Jos, it wasn't like that. In Jos, we were still deep into the normal A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H kind of thing. But coming here, I now came to meet the Abokodo kind of thing. Alright, now the truth is that the payment of teachers is very poor, especially for private schools. Now when I talk about payment of teachers for private schools, very poor, is everywhere, even when I was in Jos and when I was coming down here. But the only difference for me, the only significant difference for me was the fact that when I was in Jos, teachers don't overwork themselves. Now this is what I mean by teachers don't overwork themselves. Like, I go to work by 8 I'm not late, do you understand? And due to the fact that Jos is really cold, so during the cold seasons you're not really expected to come out of your house so early, so by 8 it's a time to resume as a teacher, and then closes by 1, except if you're teaching in a secondary school. You're teaching a primary school, in fact most of the time by 12:30 you're done. Nursery, primary school, because that's our own standard here. We practice the education, that's the 633 pattern of education. That's what we 6334, I mean, like 6 for primary school, from primary 1 to 6, even though it's not really like that anymore, especially down here in Port Harcourt. I just noticed they end their classes in basic 5, that's primary 5, and then first 3 is for junior secondary, and then the second 3 is for senior secondary, and then the 4 is for university. Most of our courses in university are 4 years, though we have courses of 5 and even 6 years, but that's by the way. So coming down here, I now notice that teachers here overwork. What I mean by overwork, at 7:30 in some schools you're late. I remember the first school I taught when I first came to Port Harcourt. It was a small private school. It wasn't even a flat, but it was demarcated into a school where there was primary, and then there was nursery, and I think there was crèche as well. Now you come in 7:20, that's the call time. When you come 7:30, you're late. And then you walk from 7:30, like, listen to me please, You work from 7:30 to like 4. What I mean, you are working like, yeah. When I coming down to Port Harcourt, I now notice that they drain the living daylight out of you. Like when I was in Jos, I was happy to be a teacher. I was proud to be a teacher. My classroom practice was awesome. Was one of the best things to me, because it's really nice when you practice what you studied in school. But coming down here, I was gradually breaking, because from Monday to Friday you leave your house as early as 7, because then the first school I taught, I walked, like it was just within my environment, so it took me like 10 to 15 minutes to walk there, yeah, thereabouts, and then go in, settle in, and then if you're on duty, because there's another thing we do here, the roster, the duty roster. If you're on duty, you're the one going to conduct the assembly. So that's, if when you're on duty, you can't even come in 7:20. When you're on duty, you have to come in as early as 7 or even before 7. You understand? You need to come in almost the same time with the minders, because the minders come in like 6:30. Okay, so being on duty, you need to come early and come and put things in order, and then wait for the pupils and even the other teachers to come in. So here you come in 7:20, and then you walk till schools here close like 3. Most schools here close like from 3:30, some very few 2:30, but then they still do external lessons, like extra lessons. And to be honest with you, the pay is very poor. Yes, as I said earlier, it's the pay in Port Harcourt was almost 2 times more than the pay in Jos, but the standard of living in Port Harcourt is way more expensive. So you'll be so shocked that the little change, like the little peanuts you're collecting, I was collecting in Jos, was even much more valuable than the money I was collecting here. Like I remember the last time I stopped teaching, the minimum I was collecting before I stopped teaching was 18,000. I'll put it in dollars, I'll convert it in dollars and put it there. That was what I was collecting, and to be honest with you, that money wasn't doing much for me. You understand? That's the truth. It wasn't doing much for me, because here in Port Harcourt, when you're renting 1-bedroom apartment, maybe I'll do a video on houses, cost of houses in Port Harcourt. Like when you're renting, let's say a self-con, currently as I speak to you, currently as we speak, the least self-con you can get in Port Harcourt is 150,000 naira. Yes. So you can imagine you're working at a pay job where you're being paid 25,000 or 30,000 naira, and your salary and your rent is like 150k, because you want to be comfortable, obviously, and then you have to buy clothes, you need to pay transport, you need to buy other things. Like you can imagine what that pay will do. It's almost like a take-home pay that cannot even take you home. You know what? I don't want this video to be too long. Hopefully we will continue in part 2, the reason why I quit my teaching job. Like I love being a teacher, like I have the passion to teach, but I had to quit. Just watch out for that too. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're new on this channel, welcome old subscribers. Thank you so much for all of your love and your support, and see you in another video. Bye.